What is up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. As you can tell, we are absolutely killing it at the moment, so I thought for this episode and future episodes, we're going to be switching it up to strict corner cutting rules. So that's going to keep me on my toes, and Azerbaijan in general is going to keep me on my toes as well. This is Friday practice, as you can see there, on our first lap of the track. Still getting used to the game, and yeah, we got ourselves involved in a little bit of a crash. Surprisingly, with the simulation damage that I had on, didn't lose a wheel. I couldn't believe it that I was able to get away with that and carry on. This is practice 2 now, and we have heavy rain for this session. You can just see him sliding around all over the place. There might be rain in qualifying. That's why I'm doing some laps here, and I again had another crash. Quickly turning into Lance Stroll here in this round of the Career Mode Championship. But yeah, just got to say a massive thank you to you guys. You've been so supportive over the last, few weeks with the Career Mode episodes. There's still so much hype for it, which is absolutely incredible. But that's Friday practice. As you can probably tell, Azerbaijan is a tough track to be competitive at, so we're going to have our hands full this weekend.
Welcome to qualifying in the Republic of Azerbaijan. The teams are making their last-minute adjustments before the lights go green, and the fight for pole position can get underway.
Alright, so here we are for qualifying for the European Grand Prix. As you've seen so far, my pace has been a little bit shaky. It's always going to be the case at this round. The AI is just so strong here, so it's going to be interesting to see how we bounce back after, how strong we've been in the previous rounds. Is our form going to carry over into this one? I'm not too sure, but we got to put our best foot forward here and make sure that we get ourselves out of qualifying 1 at least. I thought about the prospect of using the soft compound tyres, but I honestly don't think I have the pace to make up those positions early on with a harder compound of tyre. But first lap is done, and it puts us position 6 with a 1 minute 40 flats. We eventually dropped down to 8th place, but that's not too bad, to be honest. In the first part of qualifying, 8/10 down on a banker lap. That's much better than what I was actually hoping for. Hamilton looks like he's on the pace this weekend so far. Provisional pole position for him. We originally went out on a set of used tyres like we always do. Got a feel of the conditions, and then straight out on my second lap on the brand new set of super soft tyres. It will be raining in about 5 minutes time, so I decided to do the brand new set right after the first lap. I didn't wait till the end of the session. I think it's going to be raining by the time we get to the session end. So important to get a lap in now, and this one looks very good. Purple through the middle sector, and now going through the third. We've got Pascal Wehrlein, our former teammate, giving us the absolute toe of dreams and puts us well over a second and a half up, and we might be challenging for pole here as we go across the line. We go purple with a 1 minute 38.8. The first car this weekend to get in the 38s, and that is just incredible. By far my fastest lap around Baku, and oh man, that was incredible. It was ultimately down to Pascal, but what can you do? That was just amazing. And now for qualifying 3, we have intermediate conditions, so all the pace that we found in Q2 is all going to be out the window now. We've got to readapt our driving style to the wet conditions and see what we can do. Our first lap was absolutely dreadful. I missed like the apex of the first 4 corners, and I was like, way off the pace. So I basically rode off the first lap, put it in lean revs, and then went again for the second lap here. And I might be borderline on terms of like making fuel for the second one, because I only put 3 laps of fuel in the car, so I had to be a little bit conservative with my engine mapping. But you can see already 2.5 seconds up, and we're only halfway through the lap, so you can just see we found you find so much time when you do a wet session. You just got to keep doing laps and find the grip and see what works for you. But as we put it up in rich revs, run up to the line, we are 3.5 seconds up just about as we run up to the line. This one might be challenging for pole once again. Cross the line, it's first place, and we have dislodged Ricciardo from pole position for the European Grand Prix with just a few minutes to go now. The rain is easing up, and it says in 5 minutes the rain is going to stop altogether. So we'll have a look at the tyre selection screen. It gives you a delta, and it lets you know, how much faster you can go on a different compound of tyre. I went to the dries. They're going to be 15 seconds slower. So unfortunately, we can't chuck the dries on and just go for a wonder lap. But when we went out on the inters to finish our final run, to even start our final run, we ran out of time. So that's unfortunate. And the Force Indias, looks like they were the only cars who went out in like the final minute or two. And yeah, they've capitalized massively. Sergio Perez has pole position from Nico Hülkenberg. Absolute scenes here. You would never think that a Force India 1-2 would be possible, but here we are, and those guys might be in the box seat for the race tomorrow. They're good in a straight line, so that's all you really need at a track like this, but we'll have to wait and see. Starting from third, it's not a disaster. That is actually, you know, way above my expectations for where I thought I'd be this weekend.
Who would have imagined in those pioneering days of motor racing just how far and wide the love of speed and competition would spread? From Brands Hatch to Jerez to Valencia, the European Grand Prix has made its home all across the continent.
Here we are then, on the grid of the European Grand Prix. Today could be a really good day. Starting in third place, we've got none of our championship rivals starting in front of us, so if we can dispatch those two Force Indias, then it could be a good day for us. In terms of the race strategy today, we're going for the alternate strategy, doing the two-stop. It looks like it's going to be about 10 seconds faster than the one-stopper, so that's the direction I'm going to go in for this race today. It should be a pretty exciting one with the prospect of the two Force Indias in the box seat for this Grand Prix. I'm hoping that these guys can be the buffer between myself and the championship rivals. I've got my teammate Lewis Hamilton starting down the order as well, so very interesting one on this grid. 5 red lights and away we go. Looks like I missed the start just ever so slightly, maybe by about 2/10 compared to the rest of the guys, but through turn 1, no opportunities to be found. And we just slot into our starting position of third place. Ran in a little bit deep there into turn 2. It's a very crucial corner, and you can just see how much time I lost on the exit of that. It's going to take me maybe a lap to regain that ground that we lost there, just on that one corner alone. One of the corners you don't want to make a mistake on is that crucial one at turn 2. But we carry on to the end of the first lap. You can see Daniel Ricciardo all over my rear diffuser here, and I think he might be looking to get some slipstream on me.
Right, we have 2 stops left in this strategy. We have 2 stops planned. Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available.
So lap 3 now, and I think all the drivers now are starting to get into a rhythm. We're starting to get a feeler of what our car is like today. Bit of oversteer on the exit of turn 2 there, as there's a yellow flag behind me. This is for Romain Grosjean. Did he get taken out here? He's going side by side with the Toro Rosso. It is in fact a engine failure so early on in this race. It's a big shame to lose him so early on. Virtual safety car has been deployed, and that just calms things down ever so slightly. Allows us to think about what we're going to do in terms of strategy, but didn't last too long, only 30 or 40 seconds, and now we're back under green flag racing again. The two Force Indias are hammer and tong on the start-finish straight, with Nico Hülkenberg getting the supremacy, all thanks to the slipstream and DRS. He takes the lead of the European Grand Prix. Sergio Perez in second. These guys were actually pulling away quite considerably, and after that lead change, I've actually got within, you know, striking distance, and, you know, there you go, a bit of slipstream and getting within the 1 second of DRS. That allowed me to just make up the entire difference on those guys. Incredible.
Okay, we're low on fuel. Try shifting up the gears a little sooner. This should help us. Copy.
Yeah, Jeff, he talks at the worst of times. So I just wanted to have a little bit of peace and quiet on the team radio. Is that too much to ask, Jeffrey? But we carry on to lap 6, and I think this might be our pit window lap. So we'll be coming in at the end of this one. And yeah, like I said, it's crazy, this track. The start-finish straight is so long. The slipstream is so powerful. So for the player, it's just so much opportunity to overtake cars. It's absolutely mental. If we get a chance to win a train, we might overtake 4 or 5 cars, maybe even more. I think we might rejoin in some traffic here, so this might probably be the best opportunity to do that, and that's Sergio Perez actually into the pits now. Is it Sergio? No, I think it's Hulk. Yeah, it's Nico Hulkenberg into the pits. He's followed the same strategy as what I have, just covering me off. So, very clever tactics there from Force India to make sure that they have all the bases covered here. I'd assume that Perez, it would be wise for him to stay out and do the one stop, just so that Force India can win at whatever strategy works today. Lewis Hamilton into the pits, and he's put on the soft compound tyres to run a long way into this race. So, yeah, interesting to see how the strategies are at play at the moment. There's a Red Bull going up the inside of a Sauber, so that was quite interesting. Unless that Red Bull is on the same strategy as I am, I don't know what that Sauber was doing in front of him, but either way, lap 8, we're a couple laps into our second stint now, and we're starting to find our feet, having to negotiate a lot of traffic. A lot of the guys who are outside the top 10 who started on a harder compounded tyre. Look at that, so easy. The slipstream is ridiculous on this game. Just how much speed you can gain sometimes, and yeah, there you go. We were nowhere near the two Williams, and we overtook both of them with some rich revs. Can you imagine how fast this Mercedes could be if we upgraded the engine one more time? Because we've only upgraded it 4 times, so an extra 8 horsepower could, you know, make us an absolute monster in a straight line. We're only running like 7.6 wings. If we ran a low downforce setup like I was originally planning to, we could see some, I don't know, off the charts, you know, straight line speed measurements. But lap 9, we're cutting through the traffic quite well now. Dispatched Magnussen. I think Harrianto pulled into the pits, and we overtook Kvyat as well. So that's 3 positions in one straight. We've overshot the first corner there just because we were going so quick. That was the power of the slipstream. The brakes couldn't handle it. That's ridiculous, but we've got ourselves in a bit of trouble now. Both the Williams have re-overtaken me. Someone's on my left-hand side. I believe it's Sergio Perez, who just came out of the pit lane. This is close between the 3 of us. As we go through the left-hander, Bottas is gone. He's locked up the tyres, and he's in the fences. He might have lost his front wing, and there might be a safety car at the end of this lap. We'll have to wait and see. Look at the replay of this. 4 wide down the straight, and Bottas just cracked under pressure. Bit unfortunate, because that battle was really, really exciting, and he has chipped off a bit of his front wing. Hasn't lost the whole thing, but still, what a terrible mistake to make at that point in the race. He was in a very good position, and now Bottas has caused the virtual safety car. Now, lap 10, do we think about a pit stop? Probably not. We're still too far away from our pit window. I think we want to be stopping around lap 18, lap 19, 20. We're going to go onto the super soft tyres. I don't want to go onto the mediums. The softs maybe, but let's get back to that in a second. I went up the inside of Nico Hulkenberg there. It wasn't an intentional move. He just broke a little bit early for my liking, and I squeezed him off the track. Had to let him go back through in the basis of fairness, and he carries on in position number 4 and putting a lot of pressure on the cars ahead of Magnussen. And who else? Is that Kvyat as well? These guys all running along on their strategies. We got the inside of those guys. I think there was contact in the braking zone of that corner. Maybe Kvyat might have swiped me or something like that, but we carry on. No damage done to anybody. This is Nico Hulkenberg. Just a few seconds later into the braking zone. Gave me a bit of a touch. I ran in deep, but still held on to that position. Very fiery battles going on here in this European Grand Prix so far. After that lap, we had a bit of a clean one, and we managed to stretch out the gap ever so slightly to the guys behind, but I think they're going to be engrossed in a pretty... No. Okay, Kvyat's on my rear wing again. I was hoping that they'd be like engrossed in a huge battle and I would have been able to pull away, but unfortunately I've been dragged back into it because of the slipstream. It's so powerful, you can't get away from cars, even if you're faster than them by like half a second. You really need to be about a second a lap faster to pull away from a car on a power track like this. It just won't work. You got to break the slipstream or just have monster car pace to really pull away from cars, which is a bit unfortunate. But here's Sergio Perez up the inside. At this point, I'm saving fuel and looking after my tyres a little bit because, yeah, what else is there really to do? If I push hard, if I burn fuel, I'm just going to waste it because these guys are just going to get dragged along with me. So we'll carry on. Slipstream on Sergio. We fly past him and now back up into lean revs once again. So in terms of the pit stop, we're thinking about it maybe next lap or the lap after. Going to be going on to the super soft tyres. It's going to be interesting to see how Sergio Perez's pace at the back end of this Grand Prix is going to be. Being on the mediums, I think he's going to stay out for the rest of this race. So he's going to be quite a bit slower, and people are going to be chasing him down for the race victory. Carlos Sainz on the super soft tyres. He went a long way into this race and doing the one stop. He might be a threat later on as we rejoin. It's going to be P7, possibly P8. But if you look at the mini-map, we've got to make up so much time on a lot of the leaders. I'm not too sure if we can do that, if the race stays under green flag racing, which it is at the moment. 6 laps to go. We're setting purple sectors. We really need to be lapping about 2, maybe 3 seconds lap faster than the guys ahead of us. And look at this, pushing very hard to the point where I just got understeer and almost put myself in the wall there at turn 8. That was as close as you dare go to hitting the wall. I think I did brush it, to be fair, but we carry on. Green sectors here going through the middle sector. Yellow flags up ahead. There must be some kind of incident. Sebastian Vettel is out of this European Grand Prix. Probably an engine failure. You'll have to wait and see. Slipstream on Kvyat. Couldn't do anything. Yellow flags. Can't overtake, which is very frustrating. Would have been a fastest lap for me as well. There's Vettel off in the escape road. He is out of this Grand Prix and promotes us into the top 5. Unfortunately, no virtual safety car and no safety car either, so we really could have done with that stoppage of play there, but we're going to have to carry on. 3 laps to go now. The gap to Hulkenberg is near enough to 5 seconds, and that was too big of a gap. There's nothing I could have really done there. It's now 2.8 seconds. I think the gap was like 4, but I just didn't have the pace, and my tyres were going off at the back end of this stint, so definitely a mistake, this one-stop strategy, this two-stop strategy today, which is very unfortunate. Here's a battle for first place. This is Ricciardo. He actually overtook Perez on this last lap, and now Perez is going to get him back on the run-up to the line. Sergio Perez is a Grand Prix winner, and Ricciardo has been absolutely robbed at the final few hundred meters, just like he did to Lewis Hamilton in Bahrain. But for us, it's P5, and a very costly strategy choice today. Really cost us.
I can see them on their way out to the podium now. Force India have really come a long, long way in this sport. And what a special race this was to see them earn that top spot.
So there we go, guys. That has been the European Grand Prix. Position 5. You know, not the worst results in the end, but just disappointing with the direction we went in terms of the strategy. I feel like I probably could have made it work, but I was a bit slow in that middle part of the race when I was defending and battling against like the midfield guys and Sergio Perez. I feel like if I would have broken the slipstream to Sergio and kept pushing, that would have been the difference. But I made a couple mistakes here and there and got too engrossed in the battle, and that was all she wrote. But, you know, what can you say? It's a good result for Sergio, getting a race win. He got the pole as well, so really good to see a different race winner up there. But it's cost us points in the championship, both the drivers and the constructors. Ricciardo is a little closer now. He moves into second, overtakes Hamilton after he had a dreadful race. 3 pit stops. No points scored for Mercedes apart from myself, so that's eked into our constructors lead as well. But that's been this video for today, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. The European Grand Prix, I've said it many times so far, so I don't know why. I was just about to forget it, but in terms of R&D, I think I might go back to upgrading the car. We'll have to wait and see how the balance of pace versus the AI goes, especially with the strict corner cutting rules now. Yes, we were a little bit slower today, but I want to see what we're like on a normal track with strict corner cutting rules, and then I'll get the balance right with the upgrading and determine whether we need to keep upgrading the car or not. But that's going to have to wait until a future episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like if you enjoyed as well. And until the next video, guys, I'll see you next time.